utterly brilliant Paintbox. Now, painting and drawing and making things is so utterly brilliant. I've got some good mates of mine to come along and show you how much fun it all is. Hello! I am the world's most utterly brilliant person, as you know, and who are you?
Lee.
Lee, and aliens from the planet Blob here. And what you don't know is what I do know, which is all about colours. Now, do you know anything at all about colour?
No.
Well, let's start right at the very beginning with painting, and that is the three primary colours, which are red, yellow, and blue. Now, what do you get if you mix them together? Yellow and blue.
Green.
Yep. And red and yellow.
Orange.
Orange, you glad it's orange. And red and blue.
Purple.
Good one. Now, what do you get if you mix these two together?
Brown.
Well done. Now, of course, you can use poster paint, but much more fun is to mix up your own colours using powder paint. You get the powders and you mix them all together like this. Now, it's a sad thing that on the planet Blob, they have never, ever seen a paintbrush. They do all their painting there by hand. Now, the nice thing about painting with your hands is that you can use all parts of your hands, your fingers, the palm, even the sides of your hands, and squidge away with the paint, and then afterwards you can make good with a felt tip and draw all around it and get all the detail, such as we've got with Blob Face here. Now, if you mix together all the colours from your paint box, you'll get a right old mucky mess. But if you mix all the colours together in light, it should go bright white. Just to prove how it all works, we're going to make a colour wheel, just to show how the light is made up. Right, cut down here, about 3/4 of the way down, snip, 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 snip. Then you take the end here, you put some glue on it, like this, and you fold it over. Make sure that the end goes over the middle. That's very important that it goes over the middle. Get the next piece like this, and again, put some glue on it. And that sticks over there like that. Third piece with some glue on it, like this. Comes over and sticks there. And another piece here with some glue on it, and that sticks over there. That is your basic shape, which you're going to need for your colour wheel. Good fun. You have a little piece of card cut round there to hold it all in place, and as you can see, I've got a button. And the importance of the button is I've got some wire which goes up through the very middle and holds it in place on that button. It comes out the back, goes through another button, like this. And then it's all set to go around the dowel, this little stick here, like this. You twist it, and twist it, and twist it. There's an easy way of remembering the colours of the rainbow, and that is Richard of York got beaten in vain. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet or purple. And that's all our colours of the rainbow. You can paint these on very carefully. And then you go like this and see if it all turns white. Here we go. Oh, this is completely and utterly useless. It doesn't work. Have you ever wanted a secret place where you can keep your secret special things? I need somewhere safe where I can keep Magic's birdseed, and that's what we're going to do now, some bottle painting. And what you need for this is some simple paint and some PVA glue. It's sometimes called school glue. And you need to mix your paint with your glue because otherwise the paint won't stick on your bottle. So I'm going to splurge out some black here and mix it round with the glue. And even though it's white glue, it won't come out white paint, it will come out black. It's very, very sticky, and that's exactly how you want it. And then comes the real fun bit. You get an ordinary jam jar or bottle, whatever, and we're going to start painting. So you ready on yours? You ready with yours? On your marks, get set, go! So there we go, all nicely finished. Magic's jam jar for his seed. You like that, don't you, Magic? Here is a jam jar which wants to be a hip-hop, but isn't quite. This one's nearly a hip-hop here. You can see, a hip and a hop. But this is a real star graffiti jar. Now this took ages. It goes hip, and then hop. Blowing bubbles.
I do.
Good. Who likes bubble painting?
Me.
All you need for bubble painting is some paint and some bubbles, and you get your bubbles from your washing up liquid. So you pour some washing up liquid into your paint, and you mix it all around. Mix it all up for me, will you? That's it. Let's have a look. Oh, that's what I was going to do. The other thing you can do is you can actually lift up the container and blow your bubbles over the top. I'm not sure this was the exact idea in the very beginning, but you got what happens with bubble painting. It's loads of fun, and then of course you can draw on your picture afterwards, just like this, and you've got a lovely green-eyed red caterpillar coming for a glass of red bubbly at somebody's party. Wonderful. As you can see, it's very misty today, and that means that I've painted a very misty picture and my glasses have fallen off. Now, the reason it still has depth and quality to it is for a number of reasons. First of all, the horizon. The horizon is the line which goes right across it, such as this. That's my horizon line there. It has depth to it because the warm tones are at the front. These are the warm tones like this, you see here, and the cool tones are there. Okay, and also because it has a vanishing point. The glass is falling off once again. This is a terrible, difficult thing to keep on your nose in this sort of weather. But anyway, we have a vanishing point which is there. You can see it's there because all the lines lead to it, like that one, and that one, and that one as well. Oh dear, I was going to sell this picture for 3 million quid. I think I've ruined it. Looks like it's time for me to vanish. How do you paint your own watercolour? Well, first of all, you need a view, and here it is. Now, using a pencil, I'm going to sketch in the outline of what I'm going to paint and draw. Now, you mix some paints up. I've got plenty of water in with my green here. The more water you have, the less you have to fill your brush up. I've got a big, thick brush, and I'm going to paint the fields. Now, I'll need some shadow here, so I'll use a darker bit of green for the shadow. I've got about 12 colours in my box, but I'm only going to use about 6 altogether on this picture. And I notice here I've got a thinner, smaller brush for the detail on the houses in the distance. And those hedges, those grey-green colours. Remember your warm and your cool colours, blues and purples and greys for your cool colours. See the blue trees on the right-hand side there? Using that thin brush, I'm getting the outline of the trunk. Now this tree here is closer to me, so I'm going to put some shadow down the left-hand side to give it a bit of shape and form. And I use the bigger brush on that because it's a bigger subject, isn't it? Now, using my big brush full of paint here, I'm going to fill in the top left-hand corner of my picture. Plenty of tree and branches and leaves and stuff. Now, get another look. Not bad. A bit more detail here on those trees over there, using that small, thin brush again, okay? Oh, finally, going to need some sky in it, aren't you? Not bad. Bit of detail here, using that small brush. Now let's have a look at that. How does that compare with the view? Not bad. In fact, I'm rather proud of that.
I've been on a
Jenny Cherry waves goodbye to the banana bunch. She's off for a boat ride with Pedro Orange.
And the sun's so warm and the sea's so calm and the sun's so
Hello, I'm Wally the whale. I've come to save you. Just follow me.
Thank you, Wally.
The gang gathers to celebrate.
Oh, I wish Wally the whale could come to our party.
I hear someone at the door.
Hello, everyone.
And everybody live happily ever after. There's a hand. It's so easy to make your own television set. It's unbelievably simple. All you need is a cardboard box. This is a straightforward, simple cardboard box. And as you can see, you cut out your hole in the middle. That's for your TV screen. You cut the lid off. You'll just need a little bit there at the back. And then down either side, you put these slits. You have to have 3 slits like that. Can you see? And then 1 long slit there. So you must have those. And they're the same on both sides. Cover your box over, by the way, with some paper like this, so it looks authentic. And then your knobs like this, it's just bottle tops. Dead easy. Then you're going to cover the inside with this blue paper here to give you a background. And for the face of it down here, I've got the lid of a box, like this. Covered it with a piece of green paper, so that can go inside. And that is really how simple it is to make your own telly. Now, you've got to have some real-life scenery in your real-life telly, so take a piece of card, the right size, and draw your scenery on it like this. And then you put a piece of doweling across the top, okay, a little stick, and you can stick it down behind with some tape. And then just to give it some weight, I've put some cardboard along the bottom so that it hangs right. There's your little scenery. And as you can see, I've just cut some little grooves along the top so that it fits in properly. And there, doesn't that look brilliant? Ta-da! Now, the path is just a strip of paper, coloured the same as on the picture. And you notice how it narrows to give a feeling of depth here. Look at that. Ooh. Now, to do the side bits of scenery, you measure out the piece of paper and you have an extra piece along the top like this. And after you've coloured it in, you've got to cut it out. And, of course, you'll have to cut out the middle bit or nobody will see your actors. And it'll be pretty useless, won't it? Now, this is the fiddly bit, this bit, so I want you to be very careful here and avoid cutting your fingers. You cut all the way around the tree and then in and out of the branches at the top like this. It does look good at the end, though. Then you're going to stick down the bit at the back, and that goes over your dowel, over your stick. That's it like that. And then you can slide it into place like that. Now, you need some waves. I'm going to paint some white stuff on the waves. Blah, blah. That's nice and wet. And now stick it down at the back. Put some tape like this. And then my waves can go splish, splash. Let's take our characters over here and I'll show you how. These are so easy to draw, right? Take a character such as this one here. The secret to make them look special is to get the eyes right, okay? See how this line is done? Very, very simply. You continue it with those 3 little bits coming out the laughter lines here. And always put a little hole or a little white spot in the middle of the eyeball. It makes the eye come alive. A lot of cartoonists do this and a lot of different characters, and they also do it, as you can see, on the feet here. That little white blob there makes the shoe look round and it gives it some shape. So that's how you do these cartoons. They're so easy to do, because basically this shape is just a circle with a few extra bits added on, like a hand and a handbag. And then if you do the characters here, this is rather a nice thing to do, because you can use the same drawing, but different expressions to make it a happy and a sad time on the boat. Do you see what I mean? To make it seem like the boat is actually travelling, you feed your moving background through the back of the telly like this. And then you get your friend to pull this side, and you hold onto this side, and as you can see, there is a beautiful sunny day. Now, the exciting thing about making your own TV is that you can have your very own scripts, your very own stories, and your very own characters. With your own lighting and sound effects, you too can be a star on your very own Timmy on the Telly Show! Hello, my name is Pablo Potato, and I am using my thumb to get the right size. Here's a picture I painted a bit earlier, and as you can see, it is of my beautiful girlfriend, Madonna. Now, when you're painting your picture, always make sure that your subject really fills the whole of the picture. It's no good doing a tiddly little thing down the middle, because then you have plenty of blank space and it'll be a waste of space. So put plenty of colour on, plenty of picture all over the whole lot. And why is she crying? Well, you would cry, wouldn't you, if you looked like her? Anyway, back to this. I think the latest potato masterpiece is finished. Ta-da!
Math and cutouts.
I'm scared. I want to go home. Oh, that looks the way. Get a piece of paper like this. Piece for you, piece for you, and a piece for me, and you fold it in half. And that means that everything you do on one side will mirror exactly on the other. So you take your scissors and you start to cut. And let's begin first of all with something to see from, an eye, like this. Now that doesn't look like an eye yet, but it will do in a minute. Then next we're going to need a nose. For a nose, just that. Then we need a nice, big, happy grin. And then we come round at the bottom with a nice wobbly chin like that. Now that looks like nothing at all, does it? Well, open it out and you'll see what I mean when I call it a mirror mask, because there it is. It's all nicely mirrored, both sides. Do you see what I mean? You have a nose piece here, eyes there, and a big chin with a grin there. What do you think? Are you scared yet? These look really good and stiffly now. I've even got some gold. And I want a bit of green. We've got a brush. I'll dip that in the green now. Oh, that's good. And now, you remember how we made it a mirror first time by folding it? You can make it a mirror again on your picture, on your painting side, by folding it like this. Fold it down like that. And open it out. Look at that! That's a great Halloween mask with the blue hair and the Dracula fangs. The one-eyed monster from Manchester. Ah, now there's a happy-looking prince with a green crown. Yikey! It's the mighty Potato Head. Now, is that something off Neighbours or what? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, good job I call that fuss, but it gives you a headache when it goes wrong. Right, you want to make one, don't you? Of course you do. Okay, how to make your very own number 12 bus. It's dead easy. First of all, you need a box. Simple, straightforward cardboard box, just like this, okay? Now, I've cut out round here your shoulder bits, and also the front piece here. That's so you can see through it. Just like that, okay? Now, it doesn't look much like a bus at the moment, does it? So, we're going to cover it with paper. Where's my eyepiece? Here it is. Okay. Put a little cut in like that. You can feel where the edge is. Just there. And the other edge is just over here. See? Got a little star diagram now, haven't you? I can glue all those pieces down inside, like this. If you use shiny pieces of paper like this, you can put some nice windows on. So let's make sure all our passengers can see where they're going. Top deck first, I like to. Let's make a radiator. The radiator, another piece of black card, and then lots of pieces of lighter coloured strip. Stick those down like that. Okay? Right. Now let's stick the whole thing on. Okay? And let's come inside here. There, that is a perfect bus. And of course you can add your own little added extras like your own adverts. You see here we've got Timmy's magic box on the side there, which is a brilliant video to get after you've looked at this one. And you can put your own adverts on there like, you know, takes the bus to school, body bomb. And there you go, we're all set to go. Ow! Still crashed. I love a nice balloon, mate, so let's try it. Is that the size of my head yet? That'll do. Right, okay, and then you tie a knot in the end, and then you're all set to make the papier-mâché. Okay, now for this you need some PVA or school glue like this. It's the rubby stuff. And you pour it into your bowl like this. Ooh, nice and runny. Blibble, 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 blib. Okay, and then you're going to need some water. So let's have a jar and a bit of water. Right. That's 1 jar and half a bit of glue. And just a bit more water, I think. So we've got 1.5 jars of water and half a jar of glue. Let's scrape it all out. All out, and then comes the fun of mixing it all up. Okay, this is basically to give you sticky water. So you tear up lots and lots of bits of newspaper, very small pieces like this, and when you've got it nice and tiny, and you fill the whole bowl full, and you've mixed up the sticky water over there, you'll be all set to begin. Now this is a really fun thing. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to stick newspaper on to your blown up balloon. Now you've got your balloons ready. Is that all stirred up for me nicely, please? I hope it is. Nice, good. Well, you take a brush like that, so we've got a brush each, and then you start to sticky up your piece of paper. So you can dip your paper in, or you can paint your paper. And you've got to cover your balloon completely and utterly. You don't need to cover the whole balloon all the way around. You just want to do a bit over half of it. Sort of around about like that, because if you do the whole lot, you'll never be able to get it off without bursting the balloon. You don't need to do that. It's quite a long process to actually make the whole thing, and what you do is you do about 3 layers, and then let it dry off a bit. Not entirely, but you leave it for sort of half an hour or so when you've done 3 layers, and you go and do one of the other things that we've been talking about, and you can come back to this. Now, we've let the whole thing dry off, and it took about an hour or so, and when it goes dry, it goes hard like this, okay? Now, this has only got 3 layers on, so it's still quite thin, but it comes off the balloon perfectly, and that's our shape. Now, what we're going to show you now is how you can build up your nose on here. Perhaps you want to make, you know, a bit more extra shape. Best thing for that is tissue paper, and we find that if you use a big lump of tissue paper, it absorbs it much quicker. So you take a lump of tissue paper like this, and squeeze the sticky water of it, and there's your nose shape. So you put it onto like this, and there's the start of it. Now you've got to remember that as this all gets wet, it might lose its shape again, so do it a bit at a time as you go along, okay? But there is the start of your nose. So here's a little mask that we've actually done just half a mask here, and as you can see, we've got the nose shape and the eyes already. And next stage, of course, is to paint it. This will look very nice on somebody's face. Wow! What an improvement!
I'm Baron Von Nasty. I'm Charlie Chocolate.
And I've got my face in the paper! This is the drawn out face of somebody you might recognise, and now what I'm going to do is add the important things. For instance, a pair of glasses. let's have some nice, big, bright, starry shaped glasses, like that. Okay, and then we're going to need a nose, and we're going to need a mouth, like that. Now comes the fun part, cutting these bits out. Now, you've got your holes in your mask, and the next thing you need are some strips. I'll turn it over onto the back side now, and on the back side you need a long strip like this, which is going to go over the eye holes. Then you need a long strip like this, a bit thinner and smaller, to go over the mouth hole. And then you need a strip in between. Cut a strip in between. Like this. Bit thick actually, still a bit narrow. And this piece you actually stick down. It's very important that you don't stick the two bits that go over the holes down. You don't want to stick those down, but you do want to stick these down. And a nice big piece over the top like that, so put plenty of sticky glue on there. I love doing masks, they're really fun. And they're not that hard to master either. Then you need a tiny little piece down the bottom. Two reasons for this. Of course, you've got to repair that hole. The other reason is because it's important. It's an obvious reason, really, isn't it? So we'll put that there. Right? So these two pieces, remember, can move, and the other three pieces can't. And then I've got this bit. And this bit is vital because that's going to go over the back there. And to make sure that it doesn't stick on the bits where it's not supposed to stick, I'm only going to stick the pieces where it's supposed to stick. If you stick the bits where it's not supposed to stick, it'll all get stuck, and then you won't be able to unstick it, and then you'll be quite stuck. And you don't want to be stuck, do you? And then you've got it like that. And then, of course, bring it upwards, and things can move across there, it can move across there. I'll have a look. Once you've coloured your face in, like this, with spiky hair, you've got a couple of messages. Here I am, hopping at the bop, or doo-doo-doo-doo, I'm out watching Timmy. Or I'm in watching Timmy, perhaps. Then, down the bottom, what does your mouth say? It says, utterly brilliant. Or, blah. Or finally, magic. And then you stick that on your door, and everybody will know where you are and what you're doing. Hello, my name is Vincent Van Gogh. Oh, my picture has fallen on the floor. Doesn't matter. It only takes me 2.5 seconds to paint it anyway. Now, when you're doing the cutting out with the scissors, remember always to turn the card. Not the scissors, because if you turn the scissors, you're cutting your fingers off, and that is going, ah! So, when you're wanting to cut out a piece in the middle, if you're going like this, you're going, ah! And it is not a good idea. So you are cutting across like this, because afterwards, it is very simple always to stick up the hole again afterwards. So cut through the edge like that, you see? And there. We have a nice ear here. How does my ear look here? Hello? Wow! Look who's come to stay. 3 members of Liverpool Football Club. How do you do that?
Well, first, take a piece of paper and draw a figure on there.
So you fold your piece of paper something like this?
Yeah.
With loads of little folds in like that. Yes. And then the shoulder and an arm. And there's one leg. Right?
Yeah. Cut it out.
Wow, that's fantastic. Look. I've got 4 football players. And then what do I do?
Colour it in. And draw things into it.
Right, well, they're half red already, so we'll have some blue on it. And colour them in like this. What have you drawn?
Clown.
Let's have a look. Hold it up.
I've only got his head, so.
Oh, that's a good head. That's a very nice head. I like that. And what have you done over there?
I've drawn a clown as well.
See yours. And there are yours. Well, here's a few more. You can do 3 ballet dancers. La, 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 la. 3 teddy bears going to the picnic. Bum, 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 bum. And what are those 3?
Girls going to disco.
Ah, that's great. Can they break dance?
Yeah.
Great!
I want to make him out, you make stained glasses.
It's dead easy. This is what you do. Take some black paper, first of all, such as this, and then fold it in half. And using the fold, you're going to cut out a shape. Now, this is the shape I'm going to do. Like that. Then I'm going to do this. Like this. That. Ooh, you're liking the side of this, aren't you, Richard? Then you get your scissors and you cut that shape out. I've cut out 1.5 shapes. Now what on earth is that going to be when I open that up? Are you ready? Dum 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 dum. That is stained glasses. You know, if you go in churches and cathedrals and you see their stained glass that they make and they have in the windows there, that stuff took people thousands of years to make. And we're making stuff now that they would just go, oh, wow, I wish I could make that. So you ready? For the stained glass windows. What do you think? Utterly brilliant or utterly brilliant? I quite agree. See what I mean? Stained glasses. Ha-ha. You'll never guess what I'm doing here. I'm making something to hold my trousers up. Yeah, I've got a problem, you see, because I need a belt for my trousers. So I just thought I'd make a quick belt here. And what I've done is I've cut out a nice long strip like this, and I'm just colouring it in. Right, now then, the next thing to do is to cover it with some sticky stuff, because if you don't cover it, then of course if you put it around your trousers, it'll fall apart very quickly. So you get some of this. This is the stuff you use. You know what you use for covering your books? Exactly the same stuff here. And you cut a strip of it. In fact, it's very useful because on the back it's actually measured in squares. And you put this over the top, you can see that that actually covers 2 squares perfectly. So let us start to peel this off. That's it. Lovely. Now put that in the middle. And I can get it in the middle. This is the hardest part. Getting the sticky on. Everything else is dead easy. And then you fold it over. Small stick there. Fold that over. I'm doing it this way round so that the front part of the belt on the other side will look really smooth. You see? Round here, the back side of the belt, it doesn't really matter. It can be as bubbly and as knobbly as you like. You need to put the buckle on now. Get a buckle like this. These are really easy to get hold of. About 50p is all they cost. I'm going to put my buckle on here. I want this to go through. So we make a hole. Get a blob of plasticine, put it like that, and then you get a pencil. Here we go. And this makes the hole like this. You ready? Perfect. Exactly what I need. Now let's bring this up like this. And bring that through my hole and tuck that back down again. See how you put your buckle on? Spot on. Now let's come down the other end. And then I'll cut that. There. So a nice sharp point. I want some holes in it now. Get that plasticine down again. Pencil to hand. This is the easiest way of making holes. You can, of course, use those punches. Might as well use them. And space them out evenly. Making sure that they are right in the middle. Now, you want to make sure that you don't have these holes tearing. So a nice thing to do here is to get hold of some of these transparent reinforcement rings. The sort of things that if you punch holes in pieces of paper, you put around. So you've got your hole. All you've got to do now is thread it through all the way around the back, and then I'm going to look like the most utterly brilliant person in the world with an utterly brilliant homemade belt, just like make your own belts. What a belting idea! I'll show you what I've done here. You see this one? If you cut out with a little knife, cut out the little shapes in there, and also drill some holes with a pencil. There, and there. You've got a perfect little shape. And that's what we're going to try and print with. Now, what else we got? Here's another one. I've made this out of bottle top cork. And another piece of cork. There's the plasticine stuck down. Once again, it's a large chunk of plasticine that you just cut out into the shape and you just dig out a little bit. Now, you want some printing ink, don't you? Yeah, I want some printing ink. Well, ordinary paint will do. Take a tray like this, and if you put some little bits of tissue down like this, or this sort of washing up cloth in it, it tends to absorb the paint. Yeah, that's good. Quite thick, which is how you want it. Now, turn that upside down and squidge it around a bit. And that means now, when I take this and press, just the right amount of ink will come through. Show you what I've done here. I've cut little shapes out with the scissors. Snip, snip, snip. Put it around the toilet roll holder, and then I need an end piece to go in the end. A perfect fit. You do exactly the same at the other end, and as you can see, put a hole through there with a pencil so that the stick can go through it. Alright, let's take one that I've done. Like this. Alright, got my little pieces cut out here, and that's all set to print. It will roll along perfectly. When you use this sort of printer, sponge, it absorbs much more paint than the piece of plasticine does. You've got to make sure it's evenly on all the way round. And now, let's see what we can print across here. Are you ready? Down this side. Like that. Down this side. Like that. See what a pretty pattern you can make? Clever, isn't it? We've got this one, which is a cardboard toilet roll holder, and then some stars, which are cut in fact out of felt. Felt's a really good thing to use. I've used a wiggly line going down either side, and then felt stars in the middle. That's quite a complicated one to make, and it takes a bit of time, but it's worth it in the end because the patterns you make and the bushes are really tremendous. Oh, that is terrific! That is unbelievably, utterly brilliant. Woo! It's like magic. Okay. 3. La, la, la. There are some personal party invitations here for Sarah's party. Put onto black card. This one, cut out car. This one, of course, is an elephant. And you know why it's an elephant? Because an elephant never forgets and would never forget Sarah's party. And finally, this one with some little balloons added down the bottom. Magic Hip Hop Box is the name of the poster. Now, we're going to make this poster by cutting out the letters. So you cut them out like this, M and the A. Get that hole in the middle, don't forget. And you cut right the way through there. And then you put your letters, arrange them around like this, with a couple of extra things like some leaves stuck down here to make sure that they don't move for the moment. And there's some notes there, and a little cut-out picture of magic. And what I'll do now is I'm going to cover that over, and then when it's dried, we'll take the letters off and you'll see what the picture looks like. Here we go. Kitchen sieve. Red paint on the toothbrush. And now, imagine you're feeding it with your hand. Ooh. Okay, the other thing you can use is a big paintbrush like this, like your dad would use, and just put a bit of paint on it, just a tiny little bit, and flick it. See? Looks great, doesn't it? I tell you what, it goes everywhere. This is looking fantastic. As you can see, a great work of art here, which will probably be really, really valuable and worth about several thousand million squillion billion quid. Now, amazingly, these letters can actually be used again. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it dry, which won't take very long, I hope. And as soon as it's dried, we'll take those letters off, and you will see one of the world's greatest posters revealed before your very eyes. Can you wait? Textures. Now, the texture picture we're going to make today is a dinner picture. For that, you need bits of dinner to add to your picture. And we're going to start with something you don't eat, and that is polyfiller. So first of all, let's mix ourselves up some nice bits of polyfiller in here. Okay, put that in there. Now, can I have some blue paint, please, Lee? Sarah, get your stick ready. Squirt the blue paint in. Off we go. Yes, that's probably about enough, and then stir like crazy. Okay, and this, you can imagine you're stirring up your dinner here. Stir, 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 stir. Add it onto your picture like that. Stick it in. I'm going to use a big paintbrush. Here, there's an all sludge like this. And it gives your picture a really solid bit of something. I'm not sure what it is, but what it means is that when we have the dinner, which we're going to do in a minute, it'll all stick perfect. You know what they're called, the one-eyed dinosaur? Oh, you heard it, haven't you?
Yep.
This is quite hard doing the teeth, isn't it? Got to be quite careful. I think I made a mess of mine. And now here comes the really fun bit, because now we're going to add the dinner. And for that, we've got bits of pasta and some little beans and stuff like that, and we're going to add these. So you take your bits of pasta there, and I'll take my bits of pasta here. And good job Magic isn't here for this, because he really likes bits of pasta. And he's been eating this picture by now. You have to make sure you've got plenty of gunky bits on, don't you? Because if you haven't got enough, your dinner won't stick. So you've got to add quite a lot. Take some beans like this, and then I'm going to go. Because if you look at my Steggly Weggly, he has in fact got a very funny shaped body, and it's got lots of protection on it in the forms of wrinkly, spinkly bits. Oh, these are really good. Actually, these are quite good for the eyes, aren't they? I'll put mine right up there for an eye. Now, this is why you need plenty of stuff on, otherwise some of it will fall off. But basically, what you have to wait now is about 20 minutes for it to dry. And we'll do that going dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. And now we can paint the Steggly Weggly Saurus. And it's good and dry, so we'll put some colours on here. We mixed these up before, and you remember how we did all those. So let's put a bit of colour onto the shape. Those bright red colours. And probably red fingernails. I like quite a lot of this dinner colour already, so I don't want to paint all over it. I just want to make it look like it's been here forever. Almost as if the picture's actually grown right out of the paper. Finally, a bit of blood in its teeth. It's just had a rather large meal of Lee and Sarah. In fact, it's rather hungry, so it's eaten both of those two. And now it's got indigestion, as you'd imagine. And that's what you can do when you add paint to the polyfiller and to the bits of dinner on your picture. If you take a look at this one here, this is a brilliant picture. This is just using the texture of polyfiller. It's actually painted on top of the polyfiller, and as you can see, there's a fantastic rapids, and there's a boat sailing through the rapids with stalagmites and stalactites all around it. Just completely brilliant. And this one over here is the wonderful dragon. Look at that dragon. Now, you've heard of scratch painting. Magic's very chirpy now because we're going to do some scratch pictures. And for scratch pictures, what you need is a handsome model, which is Magic here. You also need some crayons, some paint, some toilet paper, and some washing up liquid. What? That's bizarre. Now, when you do your crayoning in, it's no good if you just do it really thinly and lightly here. It's very, very important that you do it very, very thickly, okay? Because when we come to actually do the scratching out, we want to make sure that it comes out properly. Okay? Well, we got our colours in. Good. Now comes the fun bit, because what we're going to do now is we're going to put the paint on. Now, you're going to put black paint on, but to make it extra special, you're going to mix the black paint up with washing up liquid. So here's some washing up liquid. There's the black paint. You could do the honours for us, will you, Claire? And pour it in 50-50. Splurge it all in. Yeah, loads of it. Loads, loads, loads. Whoa, that's fantastic. Now, the thing about washing up liquid is it makes your paint bit more sticky, and you need it sticky for when you come to scrape it off. Ordinary paint's fine, but it doesn't scrape off quite as well as washing up liquid and paint together. So you've got to cover quite thickly all over the crayoned area. Right, so here we go. We'll put it on his feet. And see what happens. The colours come out underneath. Ooh. And you can make really interesting patterns and shapes just by scraping off and making it clean again on you. And the brighter the colour that you use, the better it will look. That is what you call scratch and paint. There, what do you think, Matthew? Can you use that? Easy. Hello? Who's at the door?
Nurse Plum, Lucy Lemon, and Magic.
That's amazing. Let's see if Magic recognises himself. What do you think, Magic? Ah, perfect image of you. I think that's fantastic. Right, it's time for polytile presents. And this is what we're going to make now. How to make a polytile present for your mum or your best friend. First of all, you need a polytile. These are very easy to get hold of, only about 5p a go from any DIY shop. And then you're going to draw out your favourite character. So if you want to draw out your favourite characters over there, and I'll draw out. Now what should we do? I know what we'll do. Let's do a cat. For a cat, we'll have some nice big ears. And then we'll have this little bit for his nose, his mouth, like that, and some whiskers. Okay? Now comes the hard bit, which is cutting out your shape. Now you have to be very careful with this because polytiles break very easily. So you've got to cut quite carefully, otherwise the whole thing could snap. You're better off cutting it out in little bits. Now it's all cut out, and now comes the fun part, the colouring in. Okay, you get your 2 bits ready for colouring in over there. And I'll get mine here, and let's see, first of all, we'll give Our cat, this is a big Cheshire cat with a big Cheshire grin. Bright green eyes. And the nice thing about crayons on poly tiles is that their colours mix really easily, and if you dig in, you can get some sharp outlines. Now I'm going to give it a bit of a colour on here. On here to show it's a nice big green, and then we'll give it some blue whiskey. It's a multicoloured cat. And we've shaken all the little bits off. We have our finished cat. And you have...
I'm a apple.
That's nice with good, big, bright red cheeks. And what have you made, Neil?
Leafy lemon.
Yeah, a bit of a lemon too. Right, that's nice. So you too can make these things, and then you put a little metallic strip on the back, which you can get very cheaply from the supermarket at 20p. You stick that on the back of your poly tile, and of course it'll stick to the fridge. And your mum will be very impressed and she'll go, "Whoa, thank you very much. You can rate the fridge now." Yeah. Mio, I painted the picture. Hello, Bambino Cappuccino. I am the Leonardo da Vinci, the famous Italian painter, and I am painting the impressive picture. Now, you must always remember, whenever you are painting, to put the paper on the floor or wherever you are painting. Otherwise, your mama and your papa, they are gonna kill ya. Okay, also, you must always wash up the brushes after you have painted, otherwise they are completely split out. And also you must put on the top of the felt tips, otherwise it is all completely useless in the morning. And now, morning Lisa, nice big smile please, lovely. Ah, there we are. Morning Lisa, why are you always moaning?
Let's make a castle.
Oh no! Magic's been captured! Magic! You're safe! Hooray! So this is how you make your very own Castle Mallet so you can reenact the great battle to save magic from the deadly Black Knight. Now, first of all, you're going to need a box for the castle. A very simple box like this. You paint it grey, but you want some turrets and some towers, don't you? For that, you need some water bottles. Simple water bottles like this, okay? Cut them in half, just below this little line like that, because you want that line. It's a very useful line. That's right, Magic, because that's what's going to make our little turrety bits. And cut the water bottle in half. Woo! Like that. Good, eh? Neaten it up around the edge like that. And then we're going to take off this end piece. Now, you don't want the whole lot, because you can't get the whole lot on. You want about 3/4 of it. So you want to cut 1/4 of it out. Cut right the way down like that, all the way down, and then take another 1/4. And cut that all the way down. And then you've got the basics here for your turret. What you do then is you paint it. Now you want to give it some castly bits. So get your scissors and cut down like this. Oh, no, 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 no. Bend it over and go snip. Bend it over, snip, bend it over, snip. There you go. This is what your soldiers are going to stand on, so it's very important to get it the right size, isn't it, Magic? Isn't it, Magic? Okay? And that is going to stick in here, like here. Now, depending on the size of your soldiers, depends on where you want this to be. Do you want it down because your soldiers are big, or up because your soldiers are small? You work that one out because they're your soldiers and you know where it is to go. Then you want to glue that into position. So stick some glue inside the turret. Stick that. Along there like that. turret goes to the edge. It looks good, doesn't it? Then, when that's dry, you have to wait a little bit, okay? Then you want to do the battlement. Okay, careful cutting here. So be very, very careful. And the exciting thing about this is that all you've got to do is to cut downwards, just like this, okay? Nice and even all the way across, okay? Then you bend these over. This is fun. Here we go. Bend that over like that. Bend that one over like that. Bend that one over. Bend that one over. Bend that one over, okay? Then, when you've bent them all over, you get a piece of cardboard, cut the right length, and you balance that on top. Glue it down, okay? And then when you've done that all the way around, you've got perfect battlements for your soldiers to stand on and to fight great battles. Doesn't he look brilliant? Woo! It's exciting, isn't it? Now you need to cut round here. Not the easiest thing to do, is it? However, it is possible, and it does look good when it's done. Because there is your bridge. It's very important, of course, not to cut the bottom off, otherwise you can't pull it up in an emergency. You can add some string onto there, so you can pull it up and guard yourself against the awful attacks from the evil baddies. And that is really how simple it is to make your very own castle. Now this is a spectacular thing to do, to make your very own Timmy specs. They're dead easy to make and they look utterly, 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 utterly brilliant! So we'll see you on the next one, won't we, Magic? Bye!
Bye!
Hang on, where's Magic's credit? Well, you can't finish the show without a credit for Magic. He's the star, you know. You can't let him be off the credits. You've got to give him credit.